Welcome. If you want to know how my face ended up looking like this, please stay to watch. So, in order to get anything looking nice, everything's got to be out the way. Too much hair in the face. Bit of a controversial one. I like to start with foundation to get out of the way with. At the moment, I'm just using a BB cream. It's not really in my shade. I use concealer to deal with the shade issues. Like I said, don't really care what I'm using. I just make it work with what I've got. I know the colour looks rather interesting, but I promise I will make it work. Not everything can always go to plan. But I will look insane for a little while. Okay, so now I'm going to try and level out some of that with my concealer. I'm going to try and cover some of my breakout because that's not fun. What I'm doing makes sense to me. Doesn't have to make sense to you. I just enjoy doing makeup for fun. Sometimes I like to go a bit crazy with it. Okay, so I have another foundation here, which again is probably closer to my shade, but I like to mix all of these things in a little bit. Also, I can't get it to work normally, so this will do for now. Okay, next. Now don't judge my process because I can trust the process, but the process does not trust me. So, I've got this eyebrow gel, just a random one that I bought from the shop down the road. You know, it does the job. It did have a colour, like cream pencil that came with it, but I've already used all of that. So, let's brush out and gel down my non-existent eyebrows. And we'll go from there. Okay, so whilst that dries a little bit, does whatever it's doing, I am going to move on to cream contour because again, that's just what I do. I just make it up as I go along. Yeah, it took me a long time to figure out how to kind of do contour, and I still don't feel like I do it right, but I don't really care. As long as when the whole look is put together it looks semi-normal, then I'm happy. Okay, next, going back to the concealer to highlight the areas opposing to the contour or something like that, I don't know. Just to brighten those areas and give some more depth, I think. I don't know. Like I said, I'm no professional. I'm just here for a bit of fun, a bit of chaos. Why not? Okay, so now I am going to just put on a general neutral coloured powder. Again, not really fussed about how I do things. It's how it looks when it's finished. And right, now moving on to the contour powder, using the exact same brush I just used for my normal powder, because I don't care. I don't give a fuck. Bite me. See, I'm not so fussed about covering up my forehead too much because my fringe gets in the way of that anyway. My specialty is my eyes, and that's going to be the main look for this video. Okay, now I'm going to do my eyebrows. Eyebrows are sisters, not twins. They're not always going to look the same because they don't look the same. I'm going to try my best because I don't always use proper eyebrow products. I actually tend to use an eyeshadow palette, same one I've used for years now. Literally use my angle brush, get some powder on it, and then I do what I do. I also need to get my eyebrows waxed or something because it's all a bit out of control at the moment. That eyebrow gel really helps, but only to a certain extent. It's also really hard to look in the mirror and do this with the camera there. Mirror's right there without my glasses on because I am a wee bit blind. Like I said, eyebrows are sisters, not twins, so this is probably as good as it's gonna get. And I don't care, because I'm fine with that. Now we're moving on to the fun part, my favourite part, which is the eyes. Now, I've done loads of really interesting looks throughout my teenage years and some of my early adult years, so I like to just experiment. I like to simply just start doing something and see where it ends up. I have some water activated eyeliners, I have a white eyeliner, I have black liner of course, all sorts of bright coloured eyeshadow, so we'll see what happens. Obviously, this is for Valentine's Day, so I'm going with pinks, purples, shiny and pretty. So let's see what I come up with. This isn't necessarily a going out look, this is just a bit of chaos to bring to your face. I enjoy a big expressive look, so I'm gonna go probably for something bright. Definitely involves some of my different coloured liners. And I've also got some stick-on rhinestones that I'm probably going to use just to amp it up a bit. But I'm going to start with the outer smoky part. I'm going to use this dark purple here. I don't even know what palette this is. It's a Revolution palette. I've had some of these for years. I don't use eyeshadow in my daily makeup. I usually just do my eyebrows and my eyelashes. And that does it for me. I like to just not look dead on a daily basis, so that's enough for me. You know, the one-off opportunity that I do a full face, I do like to get a bit extravagant. Okay, so now I'm going to do the equivalent of I guess you'd call it a 2016 cut crease. Was that when they were big? But without the concealer or the cream or whatever it was that people were using to cut their crease. I'm simply just going in with a very shiny eyeshadow and just going over what I haven't done. Okay, so next is my favourite part, which is eyeliner. I've always loved doing eyeliner, it's just kind of always been my thing, courtesy of my emo phase back in year 10 at school. This one I'm going to need to use a close-up mirror to my face because otherwise I'm going to struggle. My favourite type of eyeliner to use is the felt tip variety. It doesn't really matter the brand, I just prefer a felt tip to liquid because I have more control over the wing and everything else. I also like to go on the inner corners of my eyes to create that longer, more sleek look. I know it doesn't suit everyone, that's just a personal preference. Do what you like. Okay, so that's the main eyeliner. This is a pretty standard eyeliner look for me. I like big wings, I like thick liner, I like it on the inner corners. Now I'm moving on to my liquid liner palette where use some water, little brush, paint on. I'm going to use pink. I'm just going to try some stuff. We'll see what happens. The vision is coming together. Okay, so I want to try something that I haven't tried before, which is using white eyeliner to give it sort of a neon look and then go over it with a little bit of eyeshadow in a similar colour just to give it that neon type vibe to it. Like I said, I've never tried it before. It might look shit, so we'll just see what happens. Okay, so it hasn't quite gone as nicely as I would like, but once that is dry, I will then put some eyeshadow over the top of it and hope that that helps it look better than it does. Okay, so it's not amazing, but I actually don't hate how it's turned out. I cleaned up a few edges, kind of, but I'm actually not mad. I quite like that, actually. So just to finish it off, basically, I am just going to do some mascara, and then I'm just going to add on some, blush, highlighter, and some face gems. Oh, and some lipstick. I don't really wear lipstick, but I thought it'd be fun for the look. Okay, so that is my mascara done. I'm just going to do the finishing touches and I will come back when that's done. Okay, so here's the finished look. I know you can't really see it with all my hair and my glasses, but I think it came out really well in the end. I think it's quite unhinged but still cute, so I fuck with it. Like I said, try it if you want. This wasn't a tutorial, this was just showing you something that I enjoyed doing. If you've got any ideas for any other styles I can try, or for a specific theme you'd like me to have a go at, then just leave it in the comments. In the meantime, subscribe, like the video, and just stick around for more chaos.